Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Now, for this photo is a photo. Now, I don't know. It looks like a very close crop photo of a mini temple. And the lighting is really beautiful, and it's caught a Buddhist sort of figure. And the Buddhist figure is in green, with hands together at sort of chest level, heart center, if you will. The face is like mix between Asian, Nepalese with a headdress. There's a lot of red. The clothing is a lot of blue. There's a bit of a lotus flower, but it's and there are a couple of like babies at the arms or elbows of this figurine. Traditional Buddhist statuette. So what's this?
Okay, so this is one of the images that I'll be showing next month in my gallery show called Art of the Celestials, in which I want to showcase basically the oldest structures in town are the temples. You know, they've been there for hundreds of years, if not a little bit longer. So that being said, they're the longest surviving structures in this town that reinvents it every 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to find I like telling stories again, especially about heritage. So I wanted to reframe the gods and goddesses that you find in temples, in the roadside kind of abandoned structures, and impromptu kind of shrines that people put up because they're terrified of throwing these deities or statues of deities away because it's considered bad luck. So impromptu shrines pop up here and there, which is a collection of these deities that have been carefully deposited rather than thrown away.
Yeah.
This one in particular is probably Guan Yu, which is a local deity which is famous across China and probably most of Asia. A benevolent goddess who's the goddess of mercy and compassion, hence the two children. And there's so many religious kind of motifs within these statues that I like to showcase and reinterpret, give them a more contemporary kind of a beauty. I want to take beautiful shots of these deities because they are often overlooked and thought of as chintzy kind of stuff that your grandmother prays to on every week.
Yeah, so I really like how the lighting is especially soft. The top of the photo is there's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of darkness in your image, but the top of the photo is really punctuated by these really deep, rich reds, right? And then the bottom is kind of like glowing with this turquoise, bluish, white. So it's like a really beautiful kind of shaping with color, which tells me, like, speaks so loudly as to your training and your aesthetic. So how many images like this in your show?
I'm aiming for 30 plus. I'm only
Wow.
halfway there at the moment and time's running out. So I can confidently say there's going to be 30. And I've got them all framed up on the Chroma-Lux in recycled wooden frames to emphasize that texture. So can I talk a little bit more about where this shot was made?
Yes, please do.
Where was it? It was Chunwan, I believe, in a temple up the hill, but it wasn't the main temple. It again was one of these little side kind of shrines where people are disposing of their deities, or not disposing, but carefully placing them and grouping them, and they become impromptu shrines. Now, I believe that one guy has collected these deities, these blue and white porcelain figures, hence why the color palette is like this. but
Hmm.
he's cemented them into place so people don't steal them. I don't know why he cemented
Okay.
them there, but there's a really famous one called for the Sky Full of Buddhas out in Pok Fulam, which
Hmm.
has 10,000 of these statues along the waterfront. It's a sight to
Hmm.
behold.
Wow.
I recommend anyone to go and see that. But this particular individual had cemented all these statues in place, but then he'd splashed red paint all over them.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know why he did that, but it certainly caught my eye. You see in the background, there's red paint almost
Yeah.
across the entirety of the statue. You know,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
very crude application of this paint. You can see the
Right.
paint running down a face and across a chest. Why he did that is a mystery to me.
Hmm.
But wow, what textures it brought out, and as well as all the storytelling that's going on with the religious nature of
Yeah.
the statue. Yeah, I find it incredible.
Do you think this particular show will also be available online?
I've got some pieces. If you visit dickiesuzuki.com, you can see quite a few of these pieces already up online.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so in terms of your craft and your style, I mean, have you shot outside of Hong Kong, or do you normally shoot within Hong Kong? Because obviously Hong Kong is more than enough to kind of catch your eye.
Absolutely. You know, I am keen to go and shoot some more, but it reminds me of that Bruce Lee quote where he's not frightened of a man got 10,000 different ways of attacking you. He's frightened of the guy that's practiced one thing 10,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, hence why I keep going back to Hong Kong. I know Hong Kong is a beautiful palette. It's going to last a lifetime of exploration, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I would love to go and shoot Japan and all its, vending machines. That would be terrific. But fundamentally, my heritage is in Hong Kong. I understand the stories that are here, so that I can pick out these storylines found on the street that people are overlooking
Mm-hmm.
because I know
Mm-hmm.
the background behind it. And that's what I'm trying to bring forth is that storytelling.
Right. So how just to give me a sense of scale, how large do you print?
So some of my largest pieces, like the kaleidoscopic doorway, I sold one last year that was 48 inches high.
Mm-hmm.
So 48 inches by 36.
Okay.
That's nearly a couple of meters tall,
Yeah. Yeah.
nearly life size almost.
Yeah. Amazing.
So I
Amazing.
do enjoy the scale. Imagine this particular image at a scale. You're going to see a lot more of the detail.
Sure. Wow. Okay. Well, so I guess Dickie, you've got another. The floor is yours. What else would you like to sort of put in the world about, like how does because the idea that taking a camera out into the world to photograph and to capture and share or inspire others isn't for everyone, but in your experience and in your world in your life, this is a powerful way of expressing, right? What's core to who you are. Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
about that, like in terms of how that either scratches an itch or helps you fulfill a certain mission or whatever, or personal drive to kind of express yourself?
It goes back to the original statement that I made. It's a kind of therapy, and again, I enjoy telling these stories. It's something that I can educate people about just because of my innate knowledge of just being here that long and understanding the traditions, the folklore, and all of these kind of hidden aspects of society that people would not be aware of predominantly because it's not in your face. You know,
Hmm.
I like to show fortune tellers, for instance, because that heritage has been going on for thousands of years, arguably.
Hmm.
Again, there's so much storytelling in there. That's just the tip of the iceberg as far as the fortune tellers go. But the
Hmm.
whole story behind why people use that as a service, why it's how many different variations of fortune telling there are in this city is quite astonishing, as well as all the motifs that surround that. It's got a little bit of voodoo in it. It's got a little bit of mysticism. All of these kind of things that are you could take it on face value as pantomime, or
Hmm.
you could go thousands of years into prehistory to explain it all.
Right,
And
right.
then you're also showcasing all those traditions as well. So they're the kind of things that I want to photograph, and it can be difficult to do that sometimes. So I wander the streets looking for these stories that I can expose with my photography, as well as it being good for me.
Right, right. Well, that was beautifully said. Dickie Suzuki, look, these hours go by very quickly. Thank you so much for this amazing tour of your Hong Kong. Yeah, I love seeing how people photograph, and yeah, your images are great.
Thank you for taking the time and listening to my drivel.
For sharing.
It's
Thank you for sharing. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, so have a really good one.
Hope to see you at my show at some point.
For sure.
Take care. Bye bye.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.